does happen.
Well, we're not going to see what most people are expecting. That's for sure. I can guarantee you that, because most people looking at the weights and saying, oh, they're too far apart, Canelo's too big. No, we're not going to see what y'all think we're going to see. We're going to see a...
Canelo, what did you think about the shove, that moment that happened on stage?
I'm turning on right now.
Right? Yeah. Did it make you want to go harder for the 13?
I don't know, but made me feel more excited.
Love it.
I'm gonna train so far.
Roy Jones Jr., one of boxing's sharpest minds, recently watched Terence Crawford train and he didn't mince words. Canelo's going to sleep. That's not hype. It's the verdict of a legend who knows what it takes to jump weight, classes, and make history. After an up-close look at Crawford's sparring, Jones was blown away by what he saw: Crawford's movement, adaptability, speed, and most importantly, his power at a higher weight. Jones observed the extra weight hasn't slowed Crawford down at all. Instead, it's made him even more dangerous. What stood out most wasn't just Crawford's elite skill set, was how he's still improving. For someone already atop the pound-for-pound rankings, that kind of refinement is rare and threatening. Canelo may have faced every style imaginable, but Jones believes he hasn't faced anyone quite like Crawford. This isn't just praise from a fan, it's a calculated assessment from a fighter who's lived through the same challenges. And in his expert opinion, Canelo won't be able to handle what Crawford brings.
On the streets, you and Canelo, what would it look like?
Come on, man. Y'all know what I do. I ain't got to talk about it. On the streets, I'm me against anybody. I ain't never gonna say another man gonna whoop me. So, you know what I mean? That's your answer right there.
I guess in Guadalajara, you think it'd be a little different on the streets if Terence came to town?
I think every city, every place is different, no? It's different. But we don't talking about the streets. We're talking about boxing.
Jones's tone intensifies. The strain on a battle that was already being regarded as one of the decade's pivotal occasions. Crawford is carrying the fire, with him as he charges into the spotlight rather than easing into it. Canelo Alvarez's recent request that their fight be held in a smaller ring was an obvious attempt to restrict Crawford's movement. It was probably a presumption that Bud would prefer to box and use angles rather than remain motionless and trade with someone who is naturally heavier. However, rather than ignoring or deflecting it, Crawford lit the fuse and fired back.
I go back and forwards, to be honest with you. Like, when I talk to Bud, kind of like, he convinces me that he's going to win the fight because he's such a believer in his own ability and he's very convincing. And then you see the presser yesterday and I thought Canelo looked really well. Do you know what I mean? Obviously he's a big lump, so I was always Canelo, then I sort of leant towards Bud, but now I'm back with Canelo. So we'll see.
Crawford stated at a recent press conference that he has a large head and that the only running he will be doing is upside his head. It was a clear shot that was laden with intent but more humorous than aggressive. Crawford didn't back down from the prospect of violence. In fact, he changed the course of events. Instead of dismissing the notion of a smaller ring, Crawford accepted the challenge and made it clear what he intended to do. "I'm hunting him," he continued, "and I'm going to take it come September 13th. I'm hunting everything that he has."
Amongst the era that surpassed us, you know, the Floyd, the Pacquiao, the De La Hoya, we both came up in that era, and he was right there with those fighters, and he got the chance to fight the Miguel Cottos, the Floyd Mayweathers, and you know, the Kovalevs and Triple G's, and I wasn't able to get those mega fights, you know. So this is my mega fight, this is my moment, and that's the reason why I want to fight an all-time great like Canelo.
These are deliberate remarks from someone who has never been in a difficult situation. They are not just audacious statements. With 31 knockouts on his record, Crawford is a 4-weight world champion who just added a super welterweight title to his collection after defeating Israel Madrimov. The victory was decided by majority decision, to be sure, but it also added another chapter to his already impressive reputation. In order to take on the undisputed champion in a 5th round, he is now jumping to additional weight classes. Canelo Alvarez, meantime, is coming off one of his least impressive performances. To date, his victory over William Skull via unanimous decision was, at best, mediocre.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat.
The two only threw 445 punches between them over 12 rounds, which is a record low for a big title battle. It was not only a routine performance, rather it was the sort that begs the question. Not about Canelo's impressive victories in the past, but about his current. He was flat, risk-averse, more concerned with maintaining his skill than dealing harm. He is no longer the aggressive counterpuncher who hunts opponents with innovative pressure versus skull.
Terence Crawford, does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins. Wouldn't be surprised if he loses either. Terence Crawford, when he went up against the best opposition, like Earl Spence, he showed what level he's on, what type of dog he is. So I don't know. You really have to let these fights play out to see what happens. He might get hurt. That might activate him to come back strong.
Could you still make 68?
I don't want to make 68.
No, I know Terence wins 68.
Yeah, well, if that's, yeah, I can make 160.
And that Crawford prefers opponents who slow down or remain motionless. It would be risky to bring that Canelo into a bout with him. As soon as Canelo is even a half step behind or refuses to throw at a high volume, Crawford's reactive, surgical, and venomous approach gets activated. The build-up to this fight has been becoming more intense with each press conference, but Bud won't hesitate to dominate. It's not only about stylistic matchups anymore. When Crawford went up to Canelo on stage in New York, things quickly got out of hand. When Canelo shoved him back, both entourages rose in security to step in and stop him. This was natural, heartfelt, and unadulterated drama, not staged. Here there is a genuine tension created by the collision of decades of legacy and opposing personalities.
It's cool. Well,
is there a champions?
I'm going to fight another elite
there is
fighter
a champions,
in
good fighters, but elite fighters is different.
So
wait.
So I'm going to fight an elite fighter in September.
Yeah. Okay.
Then we're
going to find out.
Then we're going to find out.
And don't get me wrong, you're a great fighter.
I know I'm great.
You're a great fighter, but are you gonna find out? I hope your uncle Turki Alashi pay you enough money because it's gonna be the last. That's
it
for
may
sure.
be. It may be. Maybe.
I hope he pay you enough.
But you know, after fighters fight me, they never the same. So I just hope your career continue.
If you look at my career,
and are uncontested champions who have won 4 weight classes, and they each hope to take home more than just another title when they depart. Las Vegas on September 13th, Crawford views this as his opportunity to become eternal. To dispel any remaining doubts and to establish his reputation above even the most illustrious lightweights and welterweights in history, with a 63 record as of February 2nd and 39 knockouts, Canelo is attempting to quell the clamor that he has passed his prime.
In boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that, you know, is his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Crawford is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, you can't count him out. You know what I'm saying?
Another veteran who has worked closely with Canelo in the past, particularly during the Golden Boy era, Bernard Hopkins, first believed that Crawford's challenge to Canelo was reckless. "That's ridiculous," he replied. "That's why we have weight classes." He continued to cast doubt on Crawford's intentions, even implying that the fight would be physically hazardous for him.
Like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, you know, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he still got that kind of steam. But, you know, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much.
Position has now been totally changed by Hopkins, who stated in a more recent interview that Crawford has a realistic shot, setting it at 85%. That's almost certain, not cautious optimism. He has no intention of proving anything by walking inside. Hopkins stated that he would enter to demonstrate that Canelo's time has passed. It signifies something when someone as skeptical and disciplined as Hopkins flips like this. He isn't readily convinced by hype. He observes the technicals and thinks that Canelo, who is accustomed to managing the tempo, will be satisfied if he sees Crawford establish and sustain the tone early. This poses a serious issue.
He hopes you don't run. And Turkey has a knockout bonus in this fight. And there seems to be something out there like the way for you to win this fight is to move, move, move. Is that true?
Listen.
Turkey, you need to put a small ring. The smaller ring in
There's an added twist to this blockbuster. FIDA, knockout bonus. His Excellency Torquil Alshik, one of the key figures backing the event, confirmed a significant reward awaits the fighter who scores a KO, while the exact figure wasn't disclosed. The message was clear. This fight needs a definitive finish. It's about more than titles or legacies. It's about delivering a spectacle. This isn't just a boxing match. It's part of a larger shift in the sport's presentation, blending high-stakes competition with entertainment value, driven by Saudi influence and cross-promotional backing. The production quality rivals that of top-tier UFC events. Adding even more prestige, Turkey also announced the creation of the most expensive Ring magazine belt ever made. It's designed by a British company known for crafting pieces for royalty and military honors. The belt is made of fine gold and showcases elite craftsmanship. It's not just a trophy, it's a symbol of dominance and a statement about who truly rules this era of boxing.
It would be a disappointment if this did normal boxing numbers, you know, and let's be real, you know what Jake Paul is gonna say. He already shitted on this fight. Don't let the numbers not come anywhere close to his numbers with Tyson, and it's gonna be all bad. Would it even matter if Bud and Canelo didn't do the numbers of Jake and Tyson? Or is that an indictment on the sport that, it's just showing what our fan base prefers, right?
This era. Canelo will have to stop. A fighter who's not just moving up in weight, but bringing elite speed, timing, ring IQ, and unshakable confidence. Terence Crawford isn't taking a chance. He's taking what he believes is rightfully his. That belief isn't just media hype. It's echoed by legends like Roy Jones Jr. and Bernard Hopkins as voices of generational wisdom who see something special in Crawford. He knows the crowd may not be in his corner. Canelo's popularity, especially in Las Vegas, is unmatched. But Crawford isn't fazed. He's embraced the role of the outsider, ready to silence the doubters. I want all. The people in the stands that booed me, he said, they're going to cry when they go home. That mindset, backed by skill and legacy-level hunger, is what makes this showdown more than just another title fight. It's a battle for the throne.
You need to put a small ring. The smaller ring in the...
Hey, Matt. Yeah. The only running that I'm gonna be doing is running upside his head, and I can assure you that. Facts. And he got a big head too.
The kind of bold statement that ends up in highlight reels, and if it comes true, it could redefine Terence Crawford's legacy. A win, especially by knockout, would catapult Crawford into any conversation about the top 10 fighters of all time. He would become a 5-division world champion, defeating a naturally bigger opponent while remaining undefeated all without the support of a massive promotional machine like Canelo's. For Canelo, the pressure is just as real. He can't afford to fight passively like he did against John Ryder. He can't rely on a wide decision or expect size alone to carry him. Across the ring is a man bringing more than elite skill. He's bringing belief. Roy Jones Jr. and Bernard Hopkins, 2 diehard fans from Omaha to Las Vegas. Crawford's supporters see the same thing, a fighter peaking at just the right time. On September 13th, Canelo won't just be defending belt seal, be standing in the way of history. And history looks ready to punch back.
Everything is on Terence Crawford's side, all the legacy, meaning he only has the opportunity to win the belts. Saul only has an opportunity to defend them. Terence Crawford has an opportunity to be in a 5 division and the only person to win all 4 belts in 3 separate weight divisions. Why is Saul taking this fight? And I'm gonna tell you why. Because there's some things in life more important than just the belts. And that 20-year career that Terence Crawford made, that all that he has, is very valuable. Very, very valuable. He had 1 foot out the game.
If Canelo couldn't knock out Charlo, do you really think that he's gonna knock out Crawford? I would pick Terence Crawford to beat a Canelo Alvarez, even at 168. Everybody can call me crazy and whatever you want to say. I get it. Y'all didn't believe me when I told you about Spence, but trust me, Crawford will figure out a way. I know a secret y'all don't know, and I ain't gonna tell you why I would pick Terence Crawford, but it's part of the secret is the reason why I'm picking him.